Much has been said about the influence of social media. It's the touchstone topic for much of, say, human interaction these days. Um, but I was noticing recently how it actually affects human intimacy or the lack thereof. After about a 4-year hiatus, I jumped back onto online dating recently just to have a look. And geez, it's changed a lot in a very short amount of time. The first thing I thought about was, does it have a lot to do with how much social media has propagated and increased and got into the bloodstream of people these days, where the memes are everyone has their heads down? But I really noticed it when I jumped on online dating sites and just saw not just the profiles of what people write or what they don't, but I noticed the way people interact. The way online media has started to sort of infect it maybe has been the attention span of people is so short. It's very meme-like. They don't really have anything to say other than they throw cliches at you. Hi, how are you? What's on for the weekend? And I'm thinking, are these people? Or is something else involved? And I started to think, are we so used to doing this all the time on our phones? Our attention span is so short. Has it actually infected the way we relate to people socially online? I think it has in a lot of ways. Everything seems to be a feed online. Everything disappears before you have a moment to even grasp it. You scroll down quickly, you scroll left or right quickly. Nothing's actually focused on for very long. It's almost as though not only don't you want anything for very long, you can't sit still with anything for very long. Nothing grabs your attention more than the next thing that's coming around the corner, the next potential thing, the next grass is greener thing. I thought, are we twitching our ways through intimacy today? We feel less and less satisfied, so we twitch faster and faster in our short attention spans. We're almost training impatience within ourselves. We're being conditioned that way. I mean, we're doing it to ourselves. This isn't a poor me, it's social media's fault. And particularly with online dating and, especially Tinder these days, it's cited so often. The very quick soundbite transient nature where you can barely stay on a person for a split second before you move on to the next. It's almost like social media has become the equivalent to male porn for women. They've got 50 guys waiting in their inbox, waiting to fight over them, in essence, always having male attention. So there's actually no impulse to get off it. It's this dopamine drip feed of constant attention. It used to be a place, I remember back in the day, online dating used to be a place that you'd stop at, you'd make a choice, and then you'd leave. It wouldn't be a place to live in. It wouldn't be a place that would feed you much of anything. It would be a temporary station that you don't want to stay in. But now I think, much like most of social media, it's actually become a dopamine drip feed. And for women, I can pretty easily see it as their equivalent to male porn. And when I kind of talk about the lack of male spaces and men disappearing, it's not like I'm saying boo-hoo. The reason is because a lot of the male spaces were practical, to get to the bottom of something, to discuss something, to work it out. But everything has become an increasingly female space of looped feelings and impatience. The social media spaces, not just the scrolling, continuous downward scrolling and the Tinder flicking left and right, but the online dating phases represent something similar. And to me, they resemble women's shopping. It's the experience of shopping that they like, much like the experience of online dating. The continual dopamine drip feed. Whereas a man likes to go shopping, get what he wants and leave. He doesn't want to stay dating online. The impotent no choice aspect of this social media / online dating experience, where it's, you're plugged in like a female, wanting to buy that next pair of shoes every single week. but never being satisfied with the pair of shoes that you bought because you want to buy another one next week. It's a really empty and hollow experience. It's really masturbatory as far as I can see. For me, it's the equivalent of having an erection and never climaxing. It's an empty loop of frustration. We're essentially living in the dopamine-fed woman's shopping experience of not just social media, of how we socialize, but of the more intimate level, the deeper level of online dating and what it potentially should be more of. It's not. It's this Groundhog Day of shopping experience, but it's been transferred into the social aspect of online dating and intimacy. It is really, really empty. I'm really surprised how empty it is after only a couple of years of being away from it. It's this feeling of never-ending anticipation, which I think women feel more comfortable with. I certainly don't. These days online, to tell you the truth, gentlemen, I can't tell much of a difference between anticipation and anxiety. Anyway, something I noticed. Let me know your thoughts down in the low bar. I'll talk to you later. Feel free to like, subscribe and share my work on social media, comment under this content or join the conversation on Discord. If you'd like to support me directly, there are donation options below. I appreciate all of you who have and continue to. It's people like you that make all the difference. Thanks.